Welcome in, everyone. We have a very important subject to discuss today, and that is Austin Tice, American journalist Austin Tice, and whether or not Delta Force or some other special operations unit will be used to launch a rescue operation in Syria to go get him. Before we do that, I need everyone to please like and subscribe and comment with your thoughts. I say it every single time. The more you like, everyone who subscribes, every comment you leave, it helps boost the channel. It helps bring more attention to the stories we're trying to share, and thus everyone wins, and that's what we like to see. So this is a very important subject, Austin Tice. Now, many of you watching this right now might not even know who Austin Tice is. That's okay. We're going to go over all that and much more in this video, explaining who's Austin Tice, why has he been missing, how did he go missing, who has him, where he might be, and whether or not Biden on his way out the door or Donald Trump in the early days of his administration will give the green light in order for Austin Tice to be brought home. So Austin Tice is a man who is from Texas. He was a Georgetown University student, and he disappeared on August 13th, 2012. He was 31 years old. I'm probably going to butcher this city, this location in Syria, but he was taken in Daria, Syria, as he was a freelance journey. I'm reading this right now from McClatchy, the Washington Post, CBS, and other media outlets when he was abducted from Daria, Syria. Initially, there was nobody known who took him. Then I believe they thought ISIS might have had him. They thought a rebel group might have had him. Then they think that the Syrian government might have had him. There's a very famous video where he's kind of blindfolded and he's kind of being moved around and he's being shuffled around. And I think ultimately the conclusion was that he was most likely being held by the Assad regime. This has been the belief of the United States for years at this point. The belief has also been that Austin Tice, who is now 43 years old, has been alive the whole time. We saw this during the Trump administration when they talked about Austin Tice. We saw it during the Biden administration. They do believe Austin has been alive this entire time and essentially living or being held captive, being held hostage somewhere by the Assad regime, whether that's in Damascus, whether that was in a different part of the country, wherever it might be. Zednaya prison, the prison that's being liberated, whether he was in there. So let's fast forward a little bit. His mother gives a press conference just a few days ago where she says again that Austin is not only just alive, but is being treated very well. And that was kind of the only details they had, and they were hopeful that the U.S. government would be able to get him back. At the same time that's going on, Syria plunges into absolute chaos. Assad runs to Russia. He flees. His government collapses. HTS is now in control of the country. They are, of course, an extremist organization that is not going to be a friend of the West. We can guarantee you that. And the question now is, what are they going to do? What are they going to do to bring Austin Tice back home now that the government that was holding him, the Assad regime, no longer exists, right? The Assad government doesn't exist anymore. He has been gone. He's in Russia. His people have no power. HTS is running the show. And so there's two things that are going to need to happen. Number one, the best case scenario is that HTS and or a senior Assad official who stayed behind knows where Austin Tice is, tells the United States government where he is, and they put him in a vehicle, they drive him to the Lebanese border, and they drop him off, and the United States takes him. Or they drop him off at the Iraqi border. Any border you want. The U.S. will be there to come get him. That's the best case scenario. That probably is not the likely scenario. Let's get into what is likely going to happen. Syria is in absolute chaos right now, which means you can't count on HTS to help this situation at all. Even if it wasn't in chaos, HTS has no interest in helping anyone but themselves. Again, they're an extremist organization. My guess is the United States is going to bribe former Assad officials with either money or safe passage out of the country if they know where Austin Tice is, in return for them telling the Biden and or Trump administration where Austin Tice is. Once that happens, once they have a location on Austin Tice, you can guarantee he's likely being held in an area that's fortified, an area that's not going to be easy to get to, This is assuming, again, that they just didn't open the door and let him walk out like we're all hoping they have. At that point, the president is going to have a decision to make. And the decision he's going to have to make is, do we fly operators from Delta Force? I guess in theory you could send SEAL Team 6 too, although they're more focused on other things. This is Syria. Syria is really Delta Force's playground. And are we going to fly in with Delta Force to whatever compound he's being held in, whatever prison he's being held in, and are we going to shoot our way in and then shoot our way out to bring Austin Tice home? The answer to that is I think it's very possible. What would a Delta Force rescue mission for Austin Tice look like? That's a great question. And I think really what you could look at in large part is the Baghdadi raid. I think it'd be very similar, except of a raid where they're going in to eliminate a target, right? In this situation, they're going in to save a target. You'd see multiple Black Hawks, 30-ish or so assaulters. You would need blocking positions. You would need all that stuff. You would need to be able to smoke anyone at the compound or at the prison where he is. You'd probably come in, you'd soften them up, you'd grab them, you'd put them on the helicopters, and you'd leave. And we've seen Delta and SEAL Team 6 do this many times before. The whole thing's over before the bad guys even know what hit them. The unfortunate reality is HTS might also want to hold Austin Tice because they view him as a bargaining chip against the Americans. They view him as a bargaining chip against whatever president is sitting in the Oval Office. Remember, HTS, not good guys. They're extremists. They're terrible people. They're absolutely awful. And we should not believe that they're going to be rational actors, and we should not believe that they're just going to hand Austin Tice over to us. We need to bring Austin home. Austin's been gone for a very, very long time. He's been gone. I can look it up right here. At the time this video is being made, Austin has been missing for 12 years, 3 months, and 26 days, and he celebrated his 43rd birthday. Was it? Yeah, his 43rd birthday back in August. It is unacceptable that he is not back, and the president is going to have to make a decision whether or not he's going to pull the trigger on sending American operatives into Syria in a chaotic hornet's nest of a situation to bring Austin home. And quite frankly, if I was sitting in the Oval Office, the decision wouldn't be a tough one. They kidnapped him. Assad kidnapped him. They held him for years. Again, Assad's a bad dude. I'm not defending anything Assad's done. Bad dude. It's time to bring Austin home. And we need to tell HTS in no uncertain terms, either you find where he is and you march him right out of wherever he's staying, right into an American convoy. We're going to put him in the vehicles and we're leaving and he's coming back to America with us. Or you can choose to play a different game where you don't do that and then we're going to come get him. And anyone who's around him when we come get him, generally speaking, if you look into the history of American hostage rescue missions, if you're a bad guy anywhere near an American hostage and a tier 1 unit shows up to bring them home, odds aren't good that you're walking out of that room alive. That's the fact of the matter. Odds aren't high that you're leaving with your life if you're there where there's an American hostage. So to recap that, option 1, we cut a deal. They let him go. He walks out. We put him in a vehicle. Hasta la vista. See you later. Option 2, they don't play that way. We got to go get him. And at that point, you're looking at multiple Black Hawks coming in. You're looking at 30 assaulters. You need guys in blocking positions because you have no idea what these terrorists might do. You have no idea what these extremists might do when helicopters start showing up. They, again, might want to use Austin Tice for their own bargaining chip. So that's kind of what I think. We need to bring Austin Tice home. Whether we do that diplomatically and they let him go, which is the preferred option. Nobody wants to put our operators' lives at risk. Or they choose option 2 where we got to go get them. And at that point, I can guarantee you Delta Force is going to get a phone call and they're going to load up their gear and they are going to lay some hate down on anyone who gets in their way when it comes time to bring an American home. He's been gone for more than 12 years. Hopefully, Austin Tice is back with his family as soon as possible. If you made it this far in the video, make sure to like and subscribe, and then please comment below with your thoughts on Austin Tice and whether or not we'll finally be able to bring Austin home and how you think that will happen. How do you think we'll get Austin home? Let me know in the comments below.